All right, folks, we are live with Half-Life Alyx, Nerd Squared, showing off an any percent no spin run here. Nerd Squared, go ahead and take it away.
Yep. Hey, I'm Nerd Squared. I'll be running Half-Life Alyx today, which is probably going to be one of the weirdest runs you'll see all week, but it's very fun. This is the first official, and by official I mean Valve-made, Half-Life game in a very long time, which is very exciting to see. It's also VR, which presents a very interesting challenge for speedruns, as you'll see shortly. Couple things to go over. First of all, this is going to be any percent, standard, beat the game, no restrictions. But there's a couple of other things. This will be the no spin run. To go over that real quick, there's a glitch in the game where, a little bit like this, you can spin around in place to clip through walls. But of course I'm not going to be doing that here. There's also a movement tech I'll be using in this called fast teleport. I'll go over that during the intro. I'm also running this on Oculus headset, which makes the game lag a little bit because I have to run the Oculus software in parallel with the game, but usually pretty nice about that. We're going to start here on the first chapter. I'm going to play on story mode because that way we don't take very much damage over the course of the run. Oops, I accidentally went back in the menu. So that way we don't take very much damage over the course of the run, and I'm also playing on continuous mode. There's lots of different movement types I'll be switching between for some glitches. There'll be some pretty interesting stuff going on. It's a little bit of a fast-paced run, so I might not be able to get to everything, but I'll try my best, especially because, I can only see through my headset. I can't exactly see my overall play environment and everything super well, but we'll manage. But yeah, the first real glitch you're going to see here is something called extended jump. So you can teleport in this game by just flicking the right stick or pressing a button. And you can, in the Steam VR settings for this game, set that binding to be for a button, like the script button, have my Oculus controller. And if you do that, you can basically span teleport every other frame by just holding down the button. So that's our main mode of moving around for this run, because it's significantly faster than moving with a stick or moving with your body. I also turn to the right here to start off the run, just my play space is oriented right when I start, so I can go in that direction. And time starts as soon as I gain movement here. And there we go. Let's go. Alright, so I'm going to start with an extended jump right away. That just skips a cutscene with Eli. I'm going to extend a jump through this elevator door. You'll see a lot of these extended jumps to get through doors and walls, because they're what allow us to clip through walls and doors, etc., to get out of bounds and skip stuff. You can see the fast teleport in great effect here, because I'm just zooming through this first level. There is a way to skip past that bit of waiting with the cat lady, but I'm not super good at it, so I just opted to go up there. We are in this nice elevator sequence with these Combine soldiers. I'm gonna spam the button a lot, see what they think about it. My hand's kind of going all crazy. Hey, hold my hands up, sir. Don't do that. I'm also going to smack my hands against this drone. You're supposed to scan us right there, but by putting our hands up against it, it skips that little sequence. Also, there's Eli. That's who we're going to try to look for over the course of the rest of the game.
Dad!
I'm grabbing that guy's gun. He's very annoyed about it. So, as punishment, we're going to get tased. I'm going to get tossed in a truck here at the start of this next map, and you'll see me crouching down right here, because there's a accessibility feature in this game that just in Half-Life Alyx itself, where if you press it, you can stand up or crouch. But if you crouch IRL and then height adjust, which is what the button is called, and then stand up IRL, you can greatly extend your hitbox. Because the hitbox of your body in this game is just your head, where your headset is positioned, so you can just clip through the ceiling right there by height adjusting, and we activate that grenade early, which skips a little part of that cutscene. And since we're still height adjusted, we can clip out of the van right there, and then extend jump through this wall, and not have to get the little headset that Russell would give us right there. Also, skip having to interact with this drone, which is unfortunate because the drone is a pretty cool character. And did an extended jump right there because there's some invisible walls that prevent you from moving there, so I just clip through that first one to progress. And there's Russell, one of my favorite characters and one of the best characters in this entire game. Because there's a really cool effect throughout the rest of the game where he like talks to you through a headset, and it's really cool. I also have to look at him for this cutscene to start.
Russell, they've got that.
So now that we've started this little interaction with Russell, there's about a 2-minute or so cutscene we have to watch. He's going to pop up a map here and point to it at where I'm putting the set crab, so I'll just put that there for later. Now we're going to have some fun with the whiteboard, because we have some time to kill here.
Great. Let's hear it.
Gonna erase this real quick. I know we're in a doomed theme marathon, so I'm gonna write an aptly themed message here.
Yeah, still your dad. Right, well what they will do is take them by train from here.
I'll try to anyway before the cutscene ends. It's hard to write in VR, so my writing abilities might not be the best.
Not necessarily. Grab something that represents us. Okay, that's you.
I thought you said us.
Well, one of us, me, will have to stay here for this plan to work.
All right, fair enough.
Just outside there's a second train that also leads out of City 17 through the quarantine zone.
Okay.
Both trains intersect here at Fairview Junction.
My writing on that was a little sloppy, but you get the picture. I better see Doompogs in chat.
That'll let me take over.
Can't see it because I'm wearing my headset right now, but I better see Doompogs in chat when I watch the VOD afterwards.
And we get your dad back.
Sounds good. Where's the train I'm taking?
Out the back, through the yard. It's decommissioned, but I think
There's a train.
control.
We're gonna get the Russells here, as he calls them, which are basically, if you've played the previous Half-Life games, it's the equivalent of the gravity gun. And it's a really cool feature for this being VR, because you can like grab things and physically flick your wrist to get them. And later on you can like attack enemies with it in the last chapter. It's really cool. We have to calibrate it by just grabbing some items in the environment, so I'll try to grab 2 at once here. Just speed up the dialogue a little bit.
Perfect, we're done.
There we go. We actually go through that sequence where we grab the items so fast that his text or voice lines there goes ahead of his animation cycle. So he's still going through his dialogue right there, but his animation cycle ends up being behind his audio right there. We're going to grab the ammo there to put in our gun. And use it to shoot open this lock. Ooh, I'm a terrible shot.
You took care of that lock then. Good.
I've gotten my VRC legs in this game.
Alright, here we go.
Do my many hours of speedrunning this, but apparently not quite yet, because I can't shoot a lock. I'm also duplicating ammo here to end off this map.
You know I am still here though.
You duplicate ammo by just really quickly grabbing it, then putting it back in. We actually don't need that much ammo over the course of the run, because there's not that much combat that we come across with the current route, but it's always nice to have those extra clips, so you don't have to go hunting for them in the environment. So the first chapter that we just finished was pretty chill, right? Now, obviously we had some shenanigans with crouching and height adjusting and whatnot, but this is where the run really
It stopped, didn't it?
starts to get fast-paced and just balls to the walls, extended jumps and glitchiness and whatnot. Because as soon as this dialogue ends, I'm gonna extend a jump through the wall of this train right here.
And this is as far
Just gotta wait for the dialogue to finish.
Then I'm headed on foot.
Good. I'll see if I can get you in some up the way.
Oh, whoops, I accidentally unpaused. There we go, we're through. So already we've broken out of bounds here. And thankfully there's a lot of invisible collision we can teleport on, so I'll just fast teleport over here. There's a sequence here where you'd have to open a hatch to get here, but we just skipped that entirely. So a lot of the maps for the rest of the run are going to go pretty much like that. I'll do some like crazy out of bounds shenanigans to skip past a whole lot of content. Do an extended jump right there to get through that fence, a little time saver.
No shortcut.
I'm gonna very slowly teleport here. There's a few barnacles right there, and if I tried to fast teleport to get past them, they would grab me. Alright, so just gonna jump through there. This one's a little weird because I have to go a little off to the side for that one to work. Oh, didn't get that extended jump. There we go. Come on, buddy. was a little stuck there. But managed to get down. I have to wait for this head crab to open the door, and we'll just get right through there. You might be wondering, hey, you've taken a bit of damage, are you going to be fine for the rest of the run? And the answer is yes, because like I said, we don't come across that much combat. We actually don't have to worry about taking that much damage, but there are a couple of tricks I'll be doing where damage is a little bit of a worry, so I'll have to be careful for those.
Radio silence. You got on.
For right now, it's just zooming through hallways with fast teleporting,
Possibly.
and
Garbage?
Okay. It's just
getting out of bounds, skipping straight to the end of the map.
Alex,
Gonna
right? What's wrong?
fast teleport and then extended jump.
I'm fine. What's up?
Didn't quite get it. Oh, I got through. Okay. So I'm gonna extended jump through that door, and then I'm gonna crouch down here and do another height adjust. There we go. I'm gonna get through the ceiling. I'm gonna walk back and forth a little bit, IRL. Whoops, didn't mean to bring my pistol out. And I'll extend and jump through this door, or through that wall. Same thing here. That avoids a couple of lengthy cutscenes with the Vortigaunt character. And that's the end of chapter 2. In probably 2.5 minutes. It's as crazy as it looks, and it's not going to get any less crazy from here. Because on the very next map, and the next few maps after that as well, I'm going to do a trick called Zero Zip. And it looks a little bit like this.
Alex! Alex, the signal's back.
I'll step to the left there just so I don't fall out of bounds and die.
Russell, I'm
I'm going to save here just in case.
What's that?
I've got him on the train. He's on the move. You've got to find Fairview Junction.
Come on, where's the teleport point? It's almost there. There we go. So now, I've done a Zero Zip there. I'll explain what that is in a second, because I'll be doing it on the very next map as well. And then I'm gonna fast teleport out of bounds here. I go a little bit there, but that's fine. And I'll extend and jump here to get back in bounds. So Zero Zipping, so I mentioned fast teleporting, right? Well, if you, while in the middle of fast teleporting, teleport with the right stick, and then in the brief window where the foot indicator disappears, which is barely noticeable, but it's there,
When you guys were off
and then
I saw the combine with spies in here.
you go to the pause menu and switch to some other type of movement mode, like shift, like I'm doing here. Also, I call this the jazz hand strat because they do this to hit the load. When you do that series of inputs, which I'm tripping over myself explaining it, it zips you to the origin of the map. And the interesting thing about this map in particular, when you zero zip, is we hit it while we're in the middle of loading. So when we start this next map, we're already at the origin of the map, which is at the very end. Just skipping straight to the end of the map here is not enough. Because normally, there's a very long cutscene we'd have to watch here after a quick puzzle where a train crashes. But you'll notice I clipped through that wall and ended up in the void. The end of the map is right over there. So I'm gonna walk IRL back and forth a bunch of times to get over there. I'm gonna occasionally adjust my camera whenever I want to change directions. It's as ridiculously hard as it looks because it's a pretty long length or pretty long distance to get there, so I have to do a lot of back and forth movements. I know you didn't expect to see a speed run where someone was doing the tango, but you're getting that. Technically it's actually slower for me to do this, but I wanted to do it anyway for the marathon because it looks really cool. I have to be very careful in doing this because I have accidentally hit my shins on my bed trying to do this trick. So if you ever plan to do VR speedruns or play VR in any capacity, definitely be very aware of your play space. Helps out a lot. So I'll be doing a lot of back and forth movements to get over there. This skips the long cutscene where we watch a train crash, and it also gets us right next to the load. So as soon as we got over there, which will take a little bit, but we'll get there, we can do an extended jump to get back in bounds. Yeah, this is going to take a little bit, so you can probably read off a quick thing while I'm doing this.
Sure thing. So, actually, out of curiosity, while you are doing that, you had explained the zero spin skip there, but what makes this a no spin run? We get any percent, but what's the no spin component?
Oh yeah, so I'm gonna save here just in case I fall. So no spin is basically there's a glitch where you can spin in place to clip through walls. Like without all this extended jump shenanigans or anything like that, just straight clipping through walls without having to pause like this. But the no spin category just allows that, and it's kind of become the default that most people run because it's the most popular category of the game. You know, legacy sort of thing. Alright, after that long skip, we have a pretty difficult chapter, or not pretty difficult, a pretty short chapter. If you've ever played this game casually, you might know this section where you get up here as part of the sewers, and it looks like there's this gate that you can get through. Well, it turns out you can, because we can just extend the jump and go right through it. And that skips the entire chapter just with that one extended jump. Because the load room at the end of the chapter is right here. Like I was saying at the beginning of chapter 2, this game gets very fast-paced very quick. It honestly gets a little hard to keep up, but it's not too bad. Alright, so now we're in chapter 5. I'm going to do an extended jump here to get to this wall and then teleport down here. The load is in the hallway below me, so I want to clip through the ceiling here. I'm going to set myself up in this crook and then take a few steps forward IRL. And there should be good. I'll crouch down and teleport to the floor. There we go. That's one map in just about 15 seconds. Now, this next map, I'm a little scared for because this map caused me a lot of troubles. Not because the section is hard, although it can be, but there's a really annoying bug. It really likes to happen to me a lot here in this particular section. So we're going to do a series of very precise teleports to climb up this structure, which you're definitely not supposed to be able to do, but, you know, you have trickery up our sleeves. Oh, crap. I should be... Nah, I have to readjust. Yeah, I'm doing these... Oh my gosh, can I get this, please?
Alyx?
Okay, I kind of flopped there, but we'll get it on the second try. That was something else. So yeah, you can see I'm doing a lot of very precise teleports to climb up here. You normally have to deal with a bunch of Combine soldiers and head crabs here. There's the Explorer's Hotel. In fact, I believe this map is called Hotel Lobby in the actual game files, but you can just do some Spider-Man climbing to get up here. Alright, so I'm almost at the point where we can get the bug. Let's see if we get it. Okay, so the bug, I didn't get it there, thankfully. Crouch there and then climb up there on the ladder. The bug I was talking about is on that last point where I was doing that, when I was doing that pretty far teleport. You can sometimes get a bug where you are not able to teleport on that particular part of the structure I was trying to get to. And you just can't progress and you have to reload a save to fix it. Sometimes even reloading a save doesn't help. And you have to like completely restart that chapter. It's really annoying. So I'm taking the stool with me. I'm gonna do some more height adjust shenanigans. Oh, that was really fast. Sometimes that stool that I'm carrying up here can get stuck in the ceiling, but it didn't get stuck there, thankfully. It got cleanly through the first time. So I didn't extend the jump through that ceiling. I'm taking the stool with me because we can get up pretty high with height adjusts. But just our height alone isn't enough. We need some extra height from the stool. We'll do a height adjust there. You can see with this one, my head just barely pokes above the ceiling, or in this case, the floor. And now let's get through. After you height adjust, you still have the height from when you height adjusted, so you have to like crouch down with the button to get back down. And the load room is just over here on the other side of this wall, so I'm gonna extend a jump and go pretty far and hit the load for the next room. I think my health is pretty good, so I might go for a bit of a risky strat here. I'll check after I get out of the load. Okay, my health's pretty good. Alright, so I'm gonna start immediately with zero zip, just so I can get down here street level. And the really risky strat is a pretty recent trick here that was found by a runner named LolP. So I'm gonna extend a jump through this fence and then teleport onto this train. I'd adjust here, save, and then load. Saving and loading while height adjusted in that particular spot makes it so I can teleport up to this roof here, and on the other side of that window that's near me is the load for the next room. So I'm gonna get up here, send a jump, and hit the load. Hello? Uh-oh, we might be in a bit of a pickle here. Okay, I'm a little low on health from that probably, but it worked out. So you can get up on that roof. The load room for the next chapter is just over there, so you can extend a jump through that window and get around to chapter 6. The reason that one is so hard is, as you saw, there were a few Combine soldiers there that I deliberately ignored. And if you're there for long enough, they can start shooting at you and do a decent chunk of damage to you. So that part can be pretty tough. I accidentally died there. That part can be pretty tough, but you know, if you do die, you can go back to that save, so it's not too bad. I also accidentally hit a death trigger there. The reason a lot of these precision teleports are, well, precise, is obviously the game does not intend for you to go out of bounds like what I'm doing here. So oftentimes I'll do just a bunch of these death triggers like this. Bounds, they have to like dance the cursor around by physically moving your hand. And unfortunately, I'm kind of floundering on this one a little bit. This precision teleport in particular isn't really that hard. I'm just kind of floundering on it right now. We'll eventually get it though. If my hand decides to stop having the jitters. Alright, cool. Save here just in case again. Do another extended jump through here. I'm gonna get down to street level here. For anyone who's played this game casually before, you might remember that there's a big fight sequence here, but we're gonna completely bypass it. By just teleporting on the roof here. I'm also gonna save here just in case I fall. There we go. And that completely skips having to do the fight sequence as well as electric puzzle. It's a pretty fun part actually for a first playthrough. And definitely one of the more fun combat sections of the game, but of course doing that is slow. It's now already on chapter 7. Yep, 7. This is Jeff. Again, anyone who's played this before might remember that there's an enemy appropriately named Jeff they'd have to avoid. Jeff being kind of like a clicker in The Last of Us. At least that's the comparison I use for him, where he's blind and you have to distract him with sound by tossing vodka bottles and eventually kill Jeff to get into a vault to progress to this zoo area. But we're obviously not going to do that. Oh crap, I hit my bed. That's what I was talking about earlier, with accidentally hitting my shins, but I'm alright. So anyways, like I was doing earlier in the train yard in chapter 3, I'm gonna do some back and forth movement, because if you remember when I was just explaining, you know, you have to kill Jeff and you go in this tunnel, the tunnel is right over there. So that's where I'm gonna go. Like I was saying, safety first when you play VR. Alright, almost there, just gotta do a few more tangos. Alright, we're definitely there. Okay. Alright, that should be good to get in. Oh, come on, there we go. And that low trigger is right here. So fast teleport over there. It's kind of nice, that method for Jeff skip, because it's fast and it's actually pretty easy. There's some previous versions of Jeff skip that were pretty hard, but that one's a lot more manageable. Because the other methods involved a lot of precision teleports and was kind of annoying. Now we're in captivity. I mentioned earlier about that zoo,
I'm sorry.
and that's where we are for this chapter. This is normally a first part of the game where you encounter ant lions, but
That's an ant lion.
that's teleport shenanigans. I'm gonna go out of bounds here.
Yes. So you do know what ant lions is.
Yes, they're
This next section is gonna look a little wonky because the collision is there right here. You can see there's some lights and some collision there, but the textures aren't loaded quite in yet until right around there. And I'm gonna hit this load trigger from the side. I need to make sure to specifically hit that one from the side because you hit it from the top of the roof, you lose your ability. You lose your hands and all your weapons and everything, and you're essentially soft locked and you can't progress. So you just need to be careful about that. Normally you'd have to turn the power off here to get rid of a barrier. I'll just extend the jump through that. This section can be kind of annoying because there's a lot of enemies here. And as you can see, it's very laggy because of how many enemies there are. Oh, what? Did that not work?
There's somebody up there.
Man, I thought I went to the middle of the room. So I was trying to go to the middle of the room there to deload those combine soldiers, but I guess I didn't go in the room far enough and it didn't work. That's okay though. Now I'm going to extend a jump here. Or not extend a jump, teleport onto this. I'm gonna do another series of precision teleports. These aren't too hard, but can be a little annoying. This one's being a little finicky. There we go. I'll extend a jump through that wall. This avoids having to deal with some ant lions. I'll kill that barnacles just so he isn't a problem. And I'll extend a jump through this fence. You'd have to normally have to do a fight with a bunch of combine soldiers and an ant lion here. Like the ant lion just spawned there. We can extend a jump through the door that blocks us. We don't have to deal with that fight. Alright, cool. Now we are on to chapter 10. Probably one of the harder sections for a casual playthrough because you climb a couple of water towers here. And there's a lot of enemies you have to deal with along the way. We can actually skip half of this tower climbing sequence. I'm going to do a height adjust right here, somewhere around here. There we go. I'll height adjust to the ceiling there. You'll notice I was out of bounds because there's this ladder right above here. And by doing this height adjust and save load, it'll teleport me to where it thinks I'm supposed to be, which is where that ladder was just a second ago. I am going to have to adjust my angle because this particular height adjust puts me right out of bounds here where this little orange orb is. That makes it a little hard to see. Adjust my positioning there by pausing. I'm going to teleport my way up the tower. Whoops. I might fudge that one. Yeah. Should still be fine. Uh-oh, I kind of fudged this one. That's okay. We're back up. Yep, we're back up. I also had to shoot that antlion there because he can be an issue as you climb this tower. Thankfully, by climbing the tower the way we did with that height adjust, we don't have to worry about any other enemies besides that manhack that we just killed, as well as that combine soldier there. But it can still be kind of annoying because, well, the manhacks don't do that much damage. They can chip away your health pretty fast. Well, teleporting way over here. And now we have this sequence where we flip all these switches. The actual plot of this game, by the way, is we played as Alyx Vance a few years before Half-Life 2. And we're going to this thing called the Vault because we're trying to get a super weapon or a weapon of sorts to fight back against the Combine. And we think the answer is this vault that's definitely loaded in. It's definitely not transparent right now. So we have to extend the bridge by flipping all these switches. Which might look a little silly, but we have to do this to go fast.
Why is the bridge not moving?
I know, Russ. I can see it not moving.
There we go. So you just have to spam the switches there, and it activates this sequence where the vault falls down after exploding. You might notice some weird artifact thing going on with all that debris falling. Because we skipped through the water tower the way we did, the vault actually doesn't load, so you just see a bunch of debris falling down surrounding nothing. Alright, so now we're on the second map of Chapter 10. We're coming up pretty close to the end here. And again, for people who've played this casually, you might know that there is a Strider we're supposed to fight on this map. But we can skip past that fight with the Strider completely, just go straight to the end. It is a pretty long process to do so, though, because this has the most extended jumps out of any map in the game, and they're all very picky. I just have to teleport here to get up to this wall. Pause to reorient myself. Extended jump through.
Just go in and get him.
Yeah, it should be good. Yeah, we're fine. Yeah, I didn't quite make it. That's fine. Alright. Fudged it that time, but we can just... Wait, did that seriously not make it still? Okay. Yeah, as you can see, extended jumps can be a little finicky. Fast teleporting as well, because the game really doesn't like when frames drop, which can happen because this is a very intensive game. So sometimes fast teleports just fail, or an input doesn't quite go through. Alright, so I've extended jump through a few barriers there to skip straight over here. This is the beam that takes you up when the chapter ends. And we're on our way to the vault up there. The Strider boss fight is very frustrating because you have to use that gun over there that I'm avoiding. Where you like pull it IRL with your hands. And it's very frustrating and finicky to use, and it's probably my least favorite part of this game casually, although it is a cool boss fight, but thankfully we get to avoid that here.
Dad?
You also might have seen me deposing there for fun. I have to stand still there when I'm being beamed up to the vault, because otherwise I can die before the load, and that would not be good. Alright, so now we're in Point Extraction, the final chapter.
Okay, this is weird.
In the casual playthrough, it's a pretty cool section where you get to see some really cool level design courtesy of Valve. But we're not about that, because I just did a zero zip there, which conveniently for us is right at the end of the chapter, because that room I just landed in is where you get transported to the next checkpoint of the chapter, which is the final one. It's not quite ready to go yet, because in teleporting to there with the zero zip, I missed a trigger, so I have to go halfway across that light bridge and then go back. And I'll get all healed up and everything for the next map. Time is coming up pretty soon, by the way. It's going to be when I go in this next room and the glass shatters when I try to free Gordon Freeman, is who we think we're trying to save, but you'll see pretty soon that's going to be a different character. So I meant to extend and jump through that, but I didn't quite get it.
Alright, Gordon.
So we'll try to free Gordon Freeman there. And time will be coming up pretty soon when the glass shatters. Oh, almost there. And time, there we go. Alright. Yeah, that was pretty clean, all things considered. Like, I had some jank earlier, but it worked out pretty well. Also, that's the end of the game from episode 2. That's just a thing. You can access that by doing a zero zip before this ending cutscene starts.
Impressive work.
Gordon.
Nice.
All right.
Good job, Nerd Squared. Any shoutouts that you'd like to share?
Yeah, so there's a few I want to give. The two main people I want to shout out are Lemons and Walpy. They're the two top runners of this game, and they are, and still are, a big help to me for getting really good at this game, because, for reference, I have 7th place, not to toot my own horn. It took a lot to get there, because this is a very complex type of run. Definitely different than anything I've ever sped ran before, as you can see with this. So shouts to those two. And also just shoutouts to the Half-Life Alyx community in general. It's very small because of the nature of this being a VR game and whatnot, but all of them are really nice people. I also want to shout out Buffet Time, because he did runs of this game, any percent inbounds, at some previous two GDQ events, and those 2 runs that he did were what inspired me to pick up this game and dive headfirst into VR running.
The Combine off Earth.
Yeah, that's about all I have in terms of shoutouts.